No script, just a quick update because I've decided on my brokerage. Yay! All right, it was a lot of thinking and a lot of sitting with it. And as I mentioned in one of my other videos, a lot of looking at the data and seeing what felt right. So where am I right now? I have met with several different brokerages. Some are in person, some are cloud-based, and there's a range of what I found. Commission splits anywhere from 65-35%, 70-30, 50-50, and then cloud-based brokerages are 85-15. Of course, what do you get for that? Well, there are varying levels of support. Some of them have in-person classes, which I find are more of the bigger brokerages. They will have the in-person classes, they'll have meetings. I'd have a specific mentor that would be helping me, and I can see a lot of benefits with that. Then there are brokerages where they take more of a percentage. They include more transaction specialists or transaction coordinators. So these are going to be people who will actually do the contracts for me so I can just be focusing on relationships. So that's intriguing as well. Then there are people who you're going to be right there in the weeds with them. You're going to be shadowing. You're going to be doing the business alongside of them. And so again, those are more traditional brokerages. And then there's cloud-based, and this is a whole other way of thinking about it. And I do think that it is the way of the future with brokerages. And I think that there's good and I think that there's bad about it. So you might be someone looking at different brokerages. Spoiler alert, I am going with a cloud-based brokerage, but I am linking arms with people who are already doing this in my area. And so I'll kind of explain a little bit about what that is. So let me talk first about what a cloud-based brokerage is. So cloud-based brokerage is, they're typically national, but then they're going to have specific areas for each state, and they have a broker that oversees that state, because in the real estate world, an agent has certain things that we can do with relationships, but it inevitably is the broker that is going to be the one having the formal relationship with that client. And so even though I'm the one that's going on showings, I'm the one that's going to be writing up the contract, it's the broker that makes sure that everything is done properly and legally. And so they are the official connection with that client. I hope that makes sense, because truly, until I studied for the licensing exam, that's not something that I fully understood. And of course, there's a lot of ins and outs. That is a broad overview of how it works. So a cloud-based brokerage is not going to have an in-person storefront. They are not going to have a broker in your area. Okay, so there are good things about that and there are bad things about that. The good thing about that is that they're probably going to have a lot more people underneath them that they're overseeing. So the complaint might be, hey, do you get as much FaceTime with them? From what I have heard in talking to people that do this system, they actually get great FaceTime with their broker when it's needed. So they have no problem reaching out and them picking up the phone. So, but I can see the complaint, right? I can see the complaint about doing it that way. Some other issues that might come about with a cloud-based brokerage. You don't have a place that you're going in person for meetings. So for someone who is not motivated or they need a bit more structure, this might not be the model for them. You don't have a team, so you don't necessarily have people that if they can't run an open house for one of their listings, hey, you could jump in. That's a great way of meeting people and getting your name out there. I see a lot of the negatives with cloud-based brokerages. And in fact, when I first got started looking at all of this, I said absolutely not to a cloud-based brokerage. And then as I was researching more, learning more, and talking to different people. The people that captured my heart, that I got really excited about the potential of what it could be right now, are already in this cloud-based brokerage and having this team together where they're actively working already. So I get to jump in and bring my talents to it. Even as a newbie, I get to jump right in. And even before I have my license, because it does take a little bit of time for that to come in, I'm able to shadow. I'm able to talk to them to figure out my strategies. All of these things I can do with some guidance of people who are in the mud doing it right now, and people who also are in the stage of life as me. These are moms, these are women who have families, who have partners, and how do you manage all of it? That was really intriguing to me, to link arms with these women and do something a little bit less traditional. As I was looking at, well, what do I want my business to look at? And as I was interviewing these other brokerages, in-person brokerages, what I was realizing is I'm going to be doing education on my own anyways, because I'm very hungry for learning. I love it so much. So if I'm already hungry for it, do I want something that is, they're telling me these are the classes I should be taking, or do I want to piece it together myself? Still following the rules, still doing the CEs that I need to do, because there are certain things I need to do as a new agent. But do I want to piece it together myself? And inevitably, that was what I wanted. I didn't want someone else telling me how I needed to do it their way. I wanted to figure it out my way. And I know that for some people, that's not the right answer. But I've already built an entrepreneurial business. I've already done this in a different market, and I know how I work best. I know what I need to be successful, and I'm just taking that and those skills and putting it with this. So that's what I chose. I am going to be with Real Brokerage, which is a cloud-based brokerage. I am going to be working with some really amazing women who have been so giving and supportive and inviting of me in this process. I think that we all have really good talents that we can work with each other, and it's going to be fun to tell our story and to see where this goes. We are not creating anything formal as of yet. That may change. We are just saying, let's do this together, let's support each other, and let's see what happens from this, and let it organically grow while supporting each other. And as if you can't tell from me doing these video series, navigating through all of this, even before I have my license, I like doing something and jumping in. I think it's why I'm going to be really good in this industry, because when I have a client and there is a house that's going to be right for them, I'm ready to jump. Like, we're not going to lose this house for someone. I'm like that with any of these new roles that I take on. And so I'm excited that they are allowing me along for the ride during their busy season, so I can see what it's like, and I can get my feet wet, and I can learn even before my license is there. I will say, we are doing nothing wrong in this situation. We are doing everything by the books, but what they're just doing is helping me so that I will be confident, and as soon as that license is there, I'm going, because I'm ready. I'm excited. Well, no, I'm not ready yet. I know I have more to learn, but I'm also ready for that next step. And so that's what I'm doing, is I'm learning what I need to learn, the boots on the ground sort of things that weren't in that online pre-licensure course. It's the stuff that I got to learn now. So I'm doing it. So anyway, quick update, 10-minute update on what I am doing with my brokerage because I've decided. And now the process is that I've sent in my application with them. They have my form because the broker has to sign the form that they'll send back to me. And then I send that to DPOR, which is Department, something like it. They're the people that give me the license in the state of Virginia. I don't know what DPOR stands for, but I send that to them. And then I'll get my license with however long it takes. Once I get my license, then I submit it to CAR, Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors. They are going to help me get set up with being a realtor and getting my lockbox system set up and getting access to the MLS. So all of that is through CAR. At least that's what I'm thinking it's supposed to be. From all my research, that's what I have to do. We'll see if that's actually accurate. But anyway, here's where I am right now, and I'm moving forward. So decision has been made. We're doing this. Yay.